Today, we embark on a chilling journey through the haunting realm of Dead by Daylight. From its humble beginnings to its dramatic rise and ongoing evolution, this game has captivated millions with its unique blend of horror and strategy. Join me as we uncover the gripping tale of Dead by Daylight in 3 distinct acts: pre-development, the launch, and post-launch. But before I begin, please hit the subscribe and like button if you enjoy my content and want to see more. Our story begins in the early 2010s, a time when the multiplayer horror genre was still finding its footing. The seed for Dead by Daylight was planted by a team of Canadian developers known as Behaviour Interactive. Founded in 1992, they went through multiple parent companies and worked as Artificial Minded Movement, creating games for many companies such as Disney, Sony, and EA. Some of their most popular games during their Artificial Minded Movement era include Naughty Bear and many movie IP games like Iron Man for the PS2 and Happy Feet for the PS2 as well. On November 8, 2010, they announced the name change back to Behaviour Interactive, and under this name went on to make games such as Fallout Shelter and Warhammer 40k: Eternal Crusade. Behaviour also broke the media by being one of the first studios to get rid of crunch time, making them one of the best studios to work at. This was especially important for their reputation, as many game studios have often been awful working spaces, such as Activision with countless events of sexual harassment and more. The studio was about to hit its stride in 2014 when the team decided to venture into the uncharted territory of asymmetric horror gameplay. The concept of the game was simple yet innovative. One player would take on the role of a killer while the remaining 4 would assume the roles of survivors trying to escape. Its asymmetric and varied loadout style is what made it different from other games such as Friday the 13th and Left 4 Dead, which often have a more linear style of gameplay. This core idea was inspired by the desire to create a game that would invoke the same adrenaline rush as classic horror films. The team envisioned a game where the fear of the unknown and the thrill of the chase would keep players on the edge of their seats. In 2015, Behaviour Interactive started developing the game, focused on creating a unique blend of horror and strategy. The team drew inspiration from classic slasher movies and survival horror games, combining elements from these genres to craft a truly terrifying experience as well as a balanced and entertaining gameplay loop. Early prototype and alpha footage shows us how they expanded and improved upon their initial concept. The balancing issues would turn out to be one of the game's biggest controversial topics, but I'll get more into that later. The moment of truth arrived on June 14, 2016, when Dead by Daylight was officially launching. The game was met with anticipation from horror enthusiasts and gamers alike, eager to experience this new take on the multiplayer genre. Although the game had anticipation to begin with, the marketing push was rather weak, with only a few trailers here and there. Most notably, the launch trailer, and previous fans of Naughty Bear got horror fans excited for what was to come. Upon release, Dead by Daylight quickly garnered attention for its unique gameplay mechanics and atmospheric design. On one side, 4 survivors would work together to repair 5 generators and escape through the gates that they powered, while on the other side, one killer would attempt to stop these survivors by sacrificing them to an entity by throwing them on meat hooks. Players were immediately drawn to the tension-filled matches and the variety of killers, survivors, and loadouts they could use. Most of the game's variety comes from the list of now over 270 perks. Before each game, the killer and survivors pick 4 perks which alter the way the game is played in some sort. Some may speed up the amount of time it takes to repair a generator, while others could help the killer locate the hiding survivors. The game was received both negatively and positively from all sides of the community, but the real test laid in its ability to sustain interest over time. In the early days, the game's community grew steadily as players immersed themselves in its chilling world. Feedback was mixed, with players praising the novel concept but also highlighting areas for improvement. Behaviour Interactive listened closely to this feedback, making crucial adjustments to enhance the gameplay experience. The community had voices through popular streamers of the game at the time, such as Ouroboros, Otsdarva, and True Talent. The developers were quick to address issues and introduce new content, including additional killers, survivors, maps, and perks. These updates helped to keep the game fresh and engaging, gradually building a loyal player base. The addition of iconic horror characters from franchises like Halloween and Silent Hill brought even more excitement and drew in fans from different corners of the horror community. The Halloween DLC in particular made the game stand out, as they received such a popular license so early in the game's life cycle. Many people nowadays contribute the grand success of the game to its acquisition of this license so early. During this time, many Let's Play YouTubers were capitalizing on the game's rising success with multiple videos from creators such as Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. As the years passed by, Dead by Daylight continued to evolve, cementing its place as a staple in the multiplayer horror genre. The game's post-launch journey has been marked by a series of significant milestones and expansions. Behavior Interactive embraced a strategy of constant evolution, regularly releasing downloadable content that introduced new killers, survivors, and maps. This approach not only kept the game dynamic, but also allowed it to cross over with beloved horror franchises, creating a rich and diverse horror universe within the game. Specifically, a new chapter is released every 3 months or so, providing enough content to freshen the game up to the community, and with the way that killers work in the game, these chapters pretty much change up the entire loop of gameplay, further providing new ways to enjoy the game. Many of these chapters are licensed, meaning that their IP comes from a separate game or series. These are often the most popular and bring many fans in from other fandoms to play the game. Notable entries of these chapters include Stranger Things, Saw, and Scream. The community around Dead by Daylight flourished, with numerous fan events, streamers, and content creators contributing to its success. The developers maintained a close relationship with their player base, incorporating player feedback and hosting events to keep the community engaged. Some changes were often controversial and not always perfect, causing a lot of turmoil amongst the community. One of the best examples of this is the HUD change that happened around 3 years ago. This update changes the heads-up display of the game, and it fucked it up for a while. The turning point happened after the community came together to voice their opinion and ultimately got it changed for the better, which shows that even through bumps in the path, behavior sorts it out and makes the game ultimately better. Even with events like this, the game's popularity surged, with players from all over the world joining the realm. The release of major updates and expansions, such as the introduction of the Rift system and the Realm Beyond graphical overhaul, demonstrated Behavior's commitment to refining and expanding the game. Each update brought new features and improvements, further enhancing the gameplay experience and ensuring that Dead by Daylight remained relevant and exciting. To illustrate another good quality about the game, the chapters/DLCs are only $5 to $10 each, with most of the chapters being able to be obtained for free using the credits you get from playing the game and leveling up, named Iridescent Shards. Today, Dead by Daylight stands as a testament to the power of innovation and community engagement. With a dedicated player base of over 60 million players and a continuous stream of content updates, the game has carved out a lasting legacy in the world of multiplayer horror. The journey from its humble beginnings to its current status as a beloved horror title is a story of passion, perseverance, and a commitment to delivering a uniquely terrifying and entertaining experience. As we conclude our exploration of Dead by Daylight, we see how a simple concept has evolved into a global phenomenon. The game's enduring success is a reminder of the impact that creativity and dedication can have on the gaming world. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the chilling world of Dead by Daylight. And until next time, keep your flashlight close and stay wary of the fog.